So I think the thing that we have left to do is relationship questions. So everybody on your playbook, you will have 4 relationship questions, and you should ask at least 2 of them to somebody. So there's 2 ways you can do it. You can ask the players collectively who meets description X, and then somebody answers, or you can answer it yourself by introducing an NPC and saying, I want them to be the object of the relationship. I recommend that at least half your relationships are with PCs. So if you do the minimum 2, it'll be either 2 PCs or 1 and an NPC. Let's try and do relationships. I reckon rather than trying to do one person's relationships all in one go, we'll like take turns to do one and then move on and do another.
Okay, my first question is, well, who suspects I'm up to something? And let me see. Nick, can you answer that for me, please?
Yeah, I think that's actually a good pick. That I suspect there's something up with you.
So it's you.
Yeah, it's me. It's me. I don't know if we want to talk about how
yes,
or why.
Yes, let's. What's put you on to Caleb?
So I'm imagining that, for better or for worse, Toby is a little bit by the book, and this new liaison officer seems to be a bit fast and loose with regulations and policy, and that's not at all what I was expecting off this highly trained military vessel. So I think that's my hint that something's not quite right here. If that sounds all right to you, Ivar?
Sure, no problem. It could be that I even try to invite him to a poker game where there's a code red or code orange, which is completely out of out of ordinary. So that might be my first stupid quiz.
Right, an unofficial and under the table poker game. Actually, that's great because it maybe that. So that's the thing that I think is suspicious, but it's also a thing that the actual Caleb would have done. So there's a
Yes.
All right. Who do I go to when I need a difficult task done? Mikhail, so the lieutenant that you're playing she's a pilot?
Yep.
What are you with the military or the?
I imagine what I was imagining is that I was trained in the military academy, and since like have a profession, I get a rank, and that's how it works. Like I don't really have that much military training, except the doctor is a captain and the pilot is a lieutenant as they start. But I know how to fly.
Are you like a gifted pilot, like a prodigy?
I would say. I mean, it's. I was thought of as a potential, having potential for being one at least.
Okay, so then I wanna list your character as who do I go to when I need a difficult task done, oh, cool. And specifically, like we have a lot of like tricky flying and stuff like this, and we have a bunch of truckers that are good at like flying cargo ships and stuff like this. But if we need something complicated done, if we need to like get like get something into the jump radius, and someone will like put their ship up against another ship and just shove it or tow it or something like that. I feel like the combination of you being a really good pilot and low enough rank that they'll like loan you out to me to do stuff. Like, how do you feel about that?
I really like that, actually.
you know, because I'm not in the military chain of command, but like we've got to work with the military to get shit done, but they're not going to give me like their best fighter pilot to do stuff like that, right? They're going to give me a rookie who's good enough at it that I can use them.
Yeah, I really liked it. I'm going to offer you one in return here, actually. I see who did I forgive for a major frack up? And I think, I mean, I'm not sure what it was, but it's definitely related to me, like treasuring that you give me some like space where I'm not in the like the military chain of command. Do you have any thoughts of what it could be? I mean, I have some ideas.
Yeah,
but,
I feel like if I like pretty much any intervention, like if you screwed up in the like if you, I kind of like the idea that if you messed up something and I went to your commanding officer and was like, you lay off of her, she's important, she does good work for me, and that just like got you just like in a world of shit because you have someone from another chain of command who like it would look to everybody like you're cultivating that even though maybe you haven't. But how does that sound? That like I intervened to try like some like minor bullshit like not making your bunk or something like that.
mm-hmm.
And like you got in so much more shit because I said something to the captain or whatever than if I had just let it go.
Yeah, I like that. You didn't understand the same hierarchy that I'm trying to like escape a little bit from.
Yeah,
this is really cool.
Okay, so Josh, I want to be clear. I pointed one at Rose. Rose pointed one back at me. So that means we each have a level 2 relationship with each other, right?
Nah, I think it caps at 1 to start off with.
There we go.
Because
Okay, cool.
The mechanics
Awesome.
all yeah, it wouldn't work if you started to. I don't think.
Okay, cool.
Cool. So Nick.
Me, I think. Okay, so I'm going straight for the big one, and I'm going to take volunteers for this. The big one is who am I in love with? I'm taking volunteers because I don't want to put anyone in a position they don't want to be in. Does anyone want to stick their hand up for that? It doesn't have to be. It absolutely doesn't have to be in both directions. I'm going to be in love with someone. You can be however you want. Any volunteers?
I'm fine with it, but also if others wants to, that's also okay for me.
I feel like I may be a little more age appropriate based on your picture there.
I think you might be. That's so. Of the 3 characters we have here, I see 3 very different things going on. Lily is more age appropriate. Rose is much less age appropriate. Caleb would be this very interesting little. I'm suspicious, but also in love with you. So of the 2, I think maybe I'd go for Lily, if that's all right with you, Jim. And
yeah, absolutely, please. Yeah.
Right. Cool. Right. So. I'm gonna. How about this? How about we've known each other for a long time, and I've been carrying a torch for a long time. Your call about how you feel about it, but I'm wondering if I had finally hit the point where I decided nothing was going to come of this, and so that was part of my decision to sign on to the colony fleet to get out of here because I got to get away from that. And then all of a sudden, everything went to hell, and now I can't get away from that.
That's awesome.
That's just part of our life now.
That's fantastic.
Cool.
That is great. I love it.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Right. Who needs me, warts and all?
Who needs you, warts and all? Yeah.
I mean, I do, but I don't think I should jump in for that one because I'm already down on the list. So.
Okay.
Could be me.
Okay. Why?
What role are you? You're an officer, right?
It's the petty liaison officer, which is basically making the necessary communications with the warship and the colony ship. Yes, Nick?
If I could, this is just a suggestion, but if Rose was flying with the colony ship, and now needs to use the Inevitable's launch bays and all those sorts of things. I can see that the liaison officer might be necessary for smoothing all that stuff over.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
That's cool.
So I think to really need you, there might need to be a bit of friction between the two crews. So it's not just smoothing over from a logistical point of view, right? There's actually, I reckon there must be a commander of the air group for the Inevitable who does not like having other pilots on his or her turf. And
Yeah,
so,
especially not rookies.
and so I guess Caleb's job is maybe to stop this from turning into an all-out conflict.
Yeah, I mean, I can be the politics guy when things get really hot, or things can go pretty dark. So I might change the course of that action.
Cool.
Should we name that CAG maybe?
I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
I don't know what rank the CAG would have, but let's just go with the first name on your list. Let's call them. Is it Major or Captain or whatever?
Captain's
Acker.
good.
Captain Acker.
Captain Acker. Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, also needs a call sign.
What about Midnight?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Oh, that reminds me, by the way, Rose should have a call sign, I would think.
I think Rose calls on his ghost.
That's cool.
All right, let's see what we got here. Who is inspired by me? And I feel like I want to make an NPC here. That can be like a you know, like a young mechanic that is trying to, you know, like constantly biting off more than she can chew. And that, you know, that we can put in danger, that everyone can get to like, so that she can get jeopardized.
So I have a suggestion about this.
Yeah, please.
I was thinking about how I don't want you to just be kind of stuck out amongst the trucker fleet and not able to get involved in what's going on the main ship.
Oh yeah.
And I wonder whether some sort of disaster has basically killed a lot of the chain of command for the military engineers. So this poor person is the most senior military engineer.
Oh my God.
But
yeah.
They are not very senior.
Yeah, like they're just they're like a sergeant who got a field promotion to sergeant or something like that, or maybe like they were a, you know, now they're technically a corporal, but they've only been a corporal for like 3 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's Corporal Ishihara Tohaku.
Cool. And so it's inspired by you.
Yeah, and so I think that like and I feel like there's a lot of like her and like I would very much rather that she like get her own way of doing things and, you know, not spend as much time just hanging around me as she does. But we'll figure that out, and you know, that's, I'm going to put her in your hands to figure out, you know, to complicate her.
Cool. Very good. And of course, anyone else is free to create relationships with NPCs already generated as we go forward.
Yeah, I have one that I'm going to offer to Toby, who is convinced I'm too soft to do my job properly.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. not least because it sets up a thing between the colonial pilots and the colonial grunts. Yeah. Was there a specific event, do you think, that made me think that?
Could be. I'm thinking maybe it was related to the relationship with and Caleb, that I didn't want to. I mean, I got yelled at by this captain on this like battleship, and I mean, I had orders, and I knew I should do what the orders were, but instead I came back and like said that I couldn't dock there, and then and asked you to like talk to this captain or whatever.
Right.
I think that's probably how you hooked me up with Caleb in the first place.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So rather than just stand up to the captain, you came to me and asked me to try and sort something out. Yeah. And so I think you're a bit soft as a result. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think probably that captain actually got some shit afterwards because it was a pretty important thing I was supposed to do. But I mean, I should have just done it and told him, but I didn't.
Right. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm on board. I'm looking forward to seeing how that changes completely across the next few sessions. So I think I need to bring in the seekers. A seeker in particular. So the question I'm going to jump to is, who have I sacrificed greatly for? And I'm gonna make it one of the seekers. Maybe this is I don't know if the seekers have a hierarchy or not. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're just a little bit interchangeable or something. But we need to pick one. So I'm going to pick one and just call her Kane. And I think she's the one who acts as my liaison with the seekers. And the way in which I've sacrificed greatly for her is that connection, that relationship, which for me is formal, nevertheless has had a huge impact on how I'm treated by other people on board, especially the Inevitable, but either ship, because everybody is suspicious of me under the assumption that I'm a puppet or somehow controlled or infected or something by these psychics. That I'm not my own man. I'm just Kane's whatever, pet, puppet, whatever. And that reputation moves ahead of me, which makes it hard for me to have ordinary relationships with people because everyone thinks there's a chance that I'm not who I say I am, but also has an impact on how I interact with military hierarchy and all those sorts of things.
So Cade is a seeker, not
Yes.
one of the puppets.
How about yes, Kane is a seeker, but we established that the seekers were locked in a room, right, and communicated through their puppets. Okay, so maybe there's some way that I know. Maybe this is what makes this a problem. Maybe I know. I can tell when I'm talking with puppets if it's Kane that I'm talking with.
Okay, yeah.
Just through long experience or whatever. But the fact that I can tell, even though the puppets keep changing, just adds fuel to that fire.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we've done the minimum number of relationships that we're required to do by the system. Is anybody kind of champing at the bit to do an additional one?
I would like to establish a relationship with Caleb because I don't have one.
Cool.
And I have one here who is my trusted advisor. And I kind of love the idea that like I know Caleb, like Caleb is like super smooth, and like when like people do stuff when he talks them into it, and I know that he like is kind of has his finger in a bunch of different pies. Like I feel like Caleb and Libby are like I would love it if we were like drinking buddies, right? Like we get together at the bar and we like just like basically like spend like just gossip with each other. And so I like totally trust you to have your finger on the pulse of what's going on, and like I'll talk to people and tell you what they're saying, and you'll talk to people and tell them what I'm saying, and we can play to find out whether like just how much I understand just how like shady you are, or whether I'm willing to make compromises with that or whatever, and how much you are willing to take advantage of me and stuff like that. Does that work for you, Ibars?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Sounds nice.
Excellent. So I'm going to list who is my trusted advisor. I'm going to say it's Caleb.
And I love this too, because Jim, I love Libby. I think Caleb is suspicious as heck, and the two of you are close. And so
yeah. Oh yeah, we're thick as thieves at the whatever at the at the bar. So yeah, I think that's fantastic. That's great.
Cool. Can I just check a name? So I keep hearing people saying Libby, but I have written down here Lily. Is it Lily or Libby?
I don't even. Now you've got me. It's Lily.
It is. Okay. Cool.
I think someone said Libby, and that got me saying it, but it is Lily.
I've got on your screen name, Jim. You've got Libby up there.
Because I put the wrong thing when that happened. Let me rename that.
It's like a bootstrap paradox.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, I had a small one. I think I was going to put who is a blood relative of mine for Kane, just to have a nice triangle there. Makes my social dynamics even weirder.
So these guys, these seekers, they have families. They're not like raised in vats or something. That's interesting.
Well, unless like their powers manifest at puberty or something like that.
Right. Yeah. So, well, maybe we'll come back to that. That's interesting. I'm kind of curious about how that might work.
Yeah, we can totally play to find that out.